Welcome to an episode of How to INU. So over here we will be showing you how to find gems, how to find what's a scam, and how to find your next 100x. Abe, how you going?
Yeah, good, Imi, good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Excited to do this, something different, something to get you guys engaged with us and help you guys use the app to your advantage.
Yeah, we thought we'd try a new approach. We've had a lot of people telling us they're not quite sure how to use the app, so what better way to learn and teach than show people, I guess, how we might go about doing it.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
on today's episode, we'll be looking at tokens that are a day old.
Well,
A
let's
day?
say probably 1 week. Nothing within the last 24 hours, or
Yeah,
probably up to a week old. So
to a week old.
anywhere between 1 day to a week old.
Yeah.
And why is that, Imi?
Because there's a significant reduction in risk because they've been running for more than 24 hours. So that initial rug phase risk is gone or reduced.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll start with that approach first.
Yeah, and just to touch on that a bit more. So essentially, new tokens have the highest risk of rugging. Like people are creating tokens every minute with the intention of rugging within the first 10 minutes, 1 hour,
For a
two
quick
hours
buck.
tops. So once they get to even a day old, most of the ones that we're going to rug quickly are gone. I mean, there's still a few that are probably a longer running scam, but essentially, it's much safer, and especially in a bear market like we're in today. Well, not probably not a bear market, but it's a pretty quiet market, pretty inactive market.
Exactly.
The majority of new tokens are going to be just really quick rugs that are in it for, even in some cases $50 and they'll rug on you. So
Exactly.
that's the approach we're going to take. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it.
So we'll move on to our filter section and we'll set the settings that we're looking for.
Yeah, and even before we probably do that, so to guys who are new to Agents of I.N.U, Agents of I.N.U, here's our app, so app.agentsinu.com. And it's essentially a token tracker where we're aggregating a whole bunch of information, displaying it to you, the user, to make it easier for you to trade. So detect scams, detect honeypots, get information about the token. So the app's constantly been worked on. These where it's at today. We're still in beta. Adding new features all the time. So please check us out on Telegram to keep up to date with all the latest. And yeah, like, subscribe, share us on YouTube. And
We currently have running a pretty awesome meme contest.
yeah.
Thank you to everyone who's submitted some pretty good memes out there and GIFs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's get stuck into it. So filters. So what filters are we looking at, Amy?
We're looking at something that's been created after the 15th.
Okay.
15th,
Let's do a week ago.
A week?
So,
Okay,
so we'll do the 11.
back.
So
we'll go 11.
So for guys who aren't familiar, so this filter actually lets you say, tokens that were created between a certain day. So I can say, show me the tokens created after the 11th and before the 17th.
17th. We're on the 18th today, yeah.
So that'd be 17th and before. So you can see that. So that's already sort of filtered the graph down to that. But if you see there are still some tokens with really low liquidity, we want to filter those out. So do we want to set it to 10 liquidity or higher, 10 beans?
Yeah, we'll do about 10.
I know you prefer your...
I'd prefer a little bit of a smaller market cap, but yeah, 10 sounds good.
Yeah, I usually go probably a bit higher than 10. Amy goes a bit lower than 10.
I think we'll go higher because after a week you'd expect liquidity to be a little bit higher.
We'll go 20.
We'll go 20. And
we'll so 20 liquidity, which is still pretty good, but then you still have tokens like Leagues of Kingdom, which has actually become a honeypot. For only 13 trades in the last 24 hours. So I think we also want to set a trade filter. So we're not seeing tokens which are inactive. I mean, you can either do this through trades or volume. I think trades a bit easier. So maybe we'll go for
100?
I think
200?
Yeah, probably 200 is a safer number. So we're saying tokens with at least 200 trades, at least 20 beans in liquidity, and created from the 11th of January up to the 17th of January. So that filter is now applied, so you can sort of see that all these tokens match that criteria.
Also, another thing, I feel like looking at tokens a week old also enables you to move past that initial launch phase where it reaches a super high, all-time high, and then it crashes down to a more realistic market cap. So during this period, you can kind of pick up something that's about to get moving or just about to get coin market cap. So that's a good it's a good time frame to look at as well. So from the results, we can see we're going to be sorting by 24 hours, which is done already.
Yeah. And just while we're on that, so I mean, sorting by 24 hours is one thing that you can do. Again, if you're new to the app, you can sort by, if you want to look at high liquidity tokens, you can do that too. So I think Thorium V2 is a relaunch of Thorium, which is a really old sort of BSC token. I'm assuming it's a relaunch. It's got a crap load of liquidity. But you can sort of see there are, so these ones are probably going to be some of your more legitimate projects, starting off with big marketing plans. So they might, I mean, if that's what you're interested in, that's one option. We're looking at ones that have gone up in the last 24 hours.
They're slightly smaller.
Yeah, and then look, it'll be a combination of everything, liquidity. They're probably not going. It's probably not going to be the ones with super high liquidity because they're not going to go up as much as lower ones. You can already see that there's not a huge amount that have gone up a lot. And again, that's probably due to the market. It's usually in a good market you'd be seeing multiples with well over 100% in 24 hours. We're just not seeing that at the moment, but we'll make do with what we have. So where do we want to start, Imi? I'm liking the look of, and we did have a quick look just a bit earlier before the video is prep. So, and we both thought that birds looked pretty good.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
So let's start there. So if you click on the name, so there's a new feature for, actually we'll look at liquidity first. So they've got 100% locked liquidity until October 15th, 2024.
Wow, they're confident.
Pink sales too, which is Pink locks. They're a pretty good provider of liquidity.
Top tier liquidity locker.
So usually, if you're looking for good liquidity lockers, what are the two that
we have Pink Cell and we have Unicrypt.
Unicrypt. So and they've got I think they call them Pink Lock and Unilock. Is there? But yeah, so they're the ones to look out for. So we can see our honeypot status is coming back good. Gas fees a bit high.
Yeah, 15% steep.
Yeah, taxes are a bit high, but let's look into Bird and see what's happening here. So if you click on a token, so this is our new token page. We're adding to it all the time. We haven't detected any issues in the contract, so that doesn't mean that there isn't a hidden scam in there somewhere, but there's been nothing sort of obvious that's come up. You can sort of get information about the price change. So it's up 100% since launch. It's done about 57% in the last 24 hours, which is pretty good. 6% in the last hour.
It's sitting at its all-time high right now, isn't it?
Is it?
Its all-time high is the current price.
Yeah, just a tiny bit under the current price, which is pretty good. So yeah, so it's sitting, and that's something that I really like to look at. So they've got 682 holders, which is
decent.
Yeah, pretty good for a token that's only a couple of days old. So we can, for more detail, we can open it up in PooCoin, and here's a tab that I prepared earlier. And you can actually see the price action is looking pretty good, right? So you reached a peak of the 17th of Jan, so at 7 a.m. So that would be sort of local time here in Australia. There was a bit of a sell-off. It's gone back up again. And personally, I really like charts like this where it's threatening to break through an all-time high. So usually if they do break through the all-time high, they can go for
a nice run.
Yeah. Liquidity is not massive, so 77 BNB it's still got legs in there, so there's still quite a bit it can go to.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool.
Let's look at the Telegram.
Yeah, so let's see. Did I have a Telegram?
So always take note, guys. Always look to see if they have a Telegram and a website.
So you want to do your research. So we haven't detected a Telegram in the token. Sorry, so usually they'll have a Telegram in the contract code, but we can have a look on Telegram and look for Bird's token and see what comes up. Is that it? Bird's token. Okay, so this looks like it. So there's a link to the same chart we saw earlier. So it's 78 BNB. So look, I'm pretty sure this is the right one. You can always do your own research and look
find out why they're peaking right now. Did they announce an update or something?
Yeah, so let's have a look as to why. So they've got 1,000 holders, which is pretty reasonable. Not a massive amount, but it's not bad. So let's have a look through the pinned. What happened to that one? That's disappeared on me.
There it is.
Sorry, it's a forwarded message. So it's saying that it's a potential listing on CoinMarketCap.
I think this is one of those things that gives you a bit of a heads up before CoinMarketCap actually announces you're being listed. So that could be the reason why it is peaking right now.
Yeah,
I mean, it would be a great opportunity for you to go in because when CoinMarketCap actually hits, it could potentially do a lot more volume.
yeah,
So yeah, this seems like a good opportunity. Like I would personally ape small into something like this and
yeah.
see where it goes from here.
So I'm just wondering. So this came, yeah. So I mean, ideally, I would have probably half an hour ago. Let's have a look at the chart again. So it's okay. So it's gone up since it's gone up not too much, about 20% since that news came out. So this might actually be a good opportunity there. Yeah, so there's one that I'd probably consider for a short-term play. I probably wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And I mean, we haven't really done a lot of
Do
details.
they have a website by any chance? Because that
Yeah,
would be another indicator
I
to see.
haven't checked. So let's have a look quickly and see if we can find any more information about what they do.
Yeah, I think a website's a good indicator that they're trying to make this project as legitimate as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
For those who just want a quick rug, don't even bother. They will say, "Hey, we're doing well. Let's make a website now." And those are the type of tokens I would avoid personally.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah,
Unless you're
likewise. Unless you're in it for a short play, I
Yeah.
guess.
Seasonal. Gambler.
Yeah, internet's playing up a bit, so
That's fine. We'll come back to this.
oh, but there we go. So
There you go.
birds, yeah, it doesn't look like. Oh, okay, so that looks like a core. So wait for announcement. Sex listings so early on in the project.
I think this is a bit more of a pump and dump, but doesn't mean you can't make money from it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, this will tell us. This next pin should tell us if they have a website or not. It looks like we're probably. What's that today? This might be going back a. Okay, they do have a website, so it's a community token, no devs. So yeah, it's purely a community token. Not a huge amount of followers for a community token, but if they do make it on CoinMarketCap, then that's again there's a potential for
They have an audit report.
for a bump
Not bad.
there. Cool. All right, so that's one. Look, I wouldn't be holding it long term. Doesn't look like there's any massive.
It looks
plans.
safe to Ape.
Yeah, it might be
but
good for a quick.
It's pretty generic website, generic roadmap. It could go just depending how it trends, really.
Yeah. Okay. So it's one we'll put on our watch list. So Birds token, first one that we'll look at, and we'll see how it performs. In our next video.
Yeah.
So let's
We'll
go.
give you guys an update probably in a few days from now and see where we're at.
So let's go back
Let's look for
to.
something else.
Okay. So another one we like the look of, and this one has huge volume. So that's Shibatron. So you can see that's done 2,700 trades in the last 24 hours, which is huge.
And not a huge amount. I mean, it's decent liquidity.
Yeah, it's actually
but-
quite decent
but
liquidity.
still enough to move.
Yeah, so it's done 101%, 78% of that in the last 24 hours. So let's have a quick scan of that one, and so almost 4,000 holders,
Wow.
which is really really good.
Really impressive for the liquidity.
Tax is quite low, so 6% buy and sell tax.
Nice.
It's down a bit from its all-time high, so which can be good or bad. It could be a good buying opportunity. So again, we don't have a website here, but let's have a quick look at the chart. So 6 mil market cap, which is quite high compared to liquidity. So that's one thing you might want to consider. The market cap is really high compared to liquidity, so they probably don't have a huge amount of tokens left in liquidity. Chart looks like it's sort of peaked 8 hours ago. It's gone down since. I'd be worried that it looks like it might be making a lower low. So I probably wouldn't buy right now personally.
Yeah. Let's see where it consolidates at first.
Yeah, so I'd see if it keeps going down or if it goes up. But again, these are new tokens. Like they're not. There's no hard and fast rule. So let's have a look at. And you can see there was a massive pump here, right? So it did 3x on the bottom there.
Could be a CoinMarketCap listing.
Yeah, so
Looks like either that way. It launched earlier, so
yeah.
it
So
looks like a CoinMarketCap listing.
so what was it?
Shibatron.
Shibatron. I had a quick look earlier, and I believe this is the right one. So this looks like a pretty active, and yeah, so you can.
36,000 members.
And so it's saying they are listed on CoinMarketCap, and that would explain.
When?
So yeah, well, I'm not
It was
entirely
6
sure.
p.m. Not just a few hours ago.
Well, I mean, it might have been earlier than that too. So let's just make sure that it's actually there. Um, okay, Shibatron, coin
Right.
market
Yeah.
cap.
Yeah.
It looks like it's tracking. The market cap's off, which happens. Cool. So yeah, so it's legitimate. So it's on there. Let's see if we can find out when that happens. So that might have been when the major pump. So at 6:35 a.m. Okay. So they've been on coin market cap for a while. So that probably was that big pump.
That was
we
that big
saw.
pump. Yeah.
Look. So this one I'd be looking to see what the plans are. So I mean, a lot of tokens really. A lot of these meme tokens are just they're box ticking, right? So they're trying to get coin market cap,
Yeah.
trying to get CoinGecko, get on
Dex still trending.
Dex still trending. This one talking about sex. So sex is a problem. I mean, they might go for a sort of low tier centralized exchange, and that might be an approach they take. So there's potential here. They're still pretty low. You just want to make sure the team's constantly ticking these goals.
They look to have an audit. Looks pretty safe.
Yeah.
And a KYC.
Yeah.
So, interesting. I mean,
and we haven't even looked at the website. Like they have a white paper. Look, to me, it probably is a meme token, but people think Agents of I.N.U is a meme token too, just based on our name. So maybe
we should suss it up.
we shouldn't judge, I guess. So let's have a look. And okay, it's a meme token right there. So voluntary donation for community. Listings on sex. Yeah, it's a meme token.
No utility. I mean, with the promise of an NFT release and a game, I guess that's how they all go about it. But
yeah. Okay.
again,
So
it could float.
Yeah, it's just good. Depends. It really depends on the community.
Exactly.
If the community gets behind it. So that's. Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting one to
I personally
watch.
wouldn't right now. I'll just wait. Like with what Abe said, I'd probably wait till we find a good floor and probably buy into it.
Yeah, you just want to see.
Seems like a pretty active community.
Yeah, you want to see activity. You want that Telegram to be. I mean, 36,000.
But it looks pretty botted to me.
That's a lot of. That's. It
looks pretty botted.
There are some messages, but probably not as many messages as you'd expect. And really, it looks like the same few people that are messaging over and over. So personally, I'd probably give it a pass, but it's one to watch.
Yeah.
All right. So any other ones, Imi, that stand out to you? So there's let's see. So over here you can see the ones that have their Twitter and Telegram.
Yeah, Shiba 10,000.
Shiba 10,000.
Yeah, I've heard about that over the last few days.
Okay, I'm not loving the amount of trades. But volume's actually quite high though, relative to the number of trades. So let's see. So they've got a Twitter, Liquidity lock with Unicrypt.
That's good.
There's a Telegram. So let's see how many holders they have. And some more information about the token. So 1,000 holders, pretty good. Reasonable taxes, down 34% from the all-time high, but it's gone up in the last day, which could be a good sign. We're not seeing a huge amount of volume recently, so let's just have a look at the PooCoin chart. And we will be adding more charting features in our own app, so I guess there'll be less of a need to jump out to PooCoin, but let's have a look. Yeah, so
it looks like a good chart.
Yeah, but if you look at the trades, it's only been.
It's slowed down.
Yeah, it's slowed down heaps.
You see the volume down there?
It's actually, it's not an. It looks like they're selling on every transaction too. So if you have a look, every time there's one sale, there's a second transaction. So there's two at 21:03:11. There's two here. These two at the same time, which isn't really nice for the chart because it just exacerbates, right? People think there's more sales than they are. So what's happening is the token's probably sending back some money to itself, so taxes or whatever. But that's usually, it's probably not. That might have been a mistake by the contract creators there. So you saw a massive volume peak here. We're not really sure why, but it wasn't really reflected in the chart. So there was a lot of volume there. There's a lot of sort of buys and sells there. I'm not loving the chart. I don't like the fact that volume's dried up. I mean, you could look at Telegram, but personally, I'd probably give this one a pass right now.
Yeah.
I might watch it, come back and see, because I do like that it has maintained its sort of, like, it did come back a lot from on the 14th. So it dropped from a high of what was it, 22 down to about 8. He went up to a high of 50 US dollars. It halved again, and now it's sort of going back up again. So if it does sort of look like it might be approaching 55 again, I'd probably be pretty interested.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now, that volume disparities. Well, it probably means I'll give that one a pass. So crypto rockets, is this one worth looking at, Imi? 472 beans in liquidity.
Huge amount in liquidity.
1,600 trades. It's been out for a week now, or close to a week. So
We'll check it out.
2,000 holders.
Mm.
It's gone up again though, so it looks like it did drop off. And it might have, like usually with these large liquidity launches, it might have been a big pre-sale and people took their profits.
Exactly.
If it's related to crypto cars, so I know there's crypto cars, there was crypto planes. It might be another one of those, which are the game tokens that have done pretty well. So you can see that there was a huge launch, like massive launch, 3 million volume at launch.
Crazy.
So it was obviously a very anticipated launch. I don't know if it was a fair launch or pre-sale. It might have been a pre-sale. So we actually reached a peak of, and depending if you like to look at the candle or the wick, 70 cents. So it's gone down to 26 cents. The volume's actually picked up a bit. Like there's been obviously it's hard to tell because of that initial candle. But if we sort of scroll over, you can see there was a bit of volume yesterday. So it did 50%. So look, this one I'd actually look into. I'd see is it legitimate? Let's have a look at if we can find a Telegram group. Crypto Rockets official. Okay, 14,000 official announcements. So the English Telegram group, which is actually, I don't know why there's so many less people in here than there is in the other one. It's actually really quiet. So maybe the Portuguese group looks a lot more active though. So it might not be an English token, right? Look, this one I'd probably need to do more research on. It's
looks like a game.
Yeah, no, I might. Yeah, if it's by the same team as crypto cars and crypto players, I might be a bit more interested. But it's definitely one to research. So they're already on CoinMarketCap. They're on CoinGecko. Yeah, I mean that looks pretty good as a potential. So
Look at the roadmap.
What is the roadmap saying? So Q4 2021 strategy tracing and team build up. So December, so January. So okay, so there was a whitelist, private sale for whitelist.
Market release. Rocket release.
So they don't have a tick next to market release, but it looks they probably haven't.
So the game is coming out soon. It's not out yet.
Okay, so the game might come out.
Play.
And then Q1.
Cool.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that we are looking at the right token here. So 0xFB, and we're seeing here 0xFB. Yep, cool. So there's one to watch.
I will definitely watch this one.
Like I do a lot more research, but check out the Telegram. Try and find a. Yeah, I'm just a bit.
I don't think you'd get 100x from a token like this unless you got in that launch. But aping in that, you have full about 10x.
Yeah, you can. There's potential for 10x. There's potential for.
It's a bit more of a long-term play.
Yeah, but 10x. It's a safer play.
It's a safer play, definitely.
I'd be putting more money in than I would be for a meme token at launch. So that's another one to look into.
Do one more.
Cool. Let's do one more. Let's see. And these are we are looking for a fairly specific criteria here. Just the market's probably not in the best conditions right now. So it is a seasonal BSC is seasonal. Most of crypto is seasonal really. So. You do need to keep in mind that there's a lot more options.
Kiku Inu looks interesting.
Kiku Inu, so that's gone up quite a bit since launch. Still going up on the daily, gone up on the hourly.
Mandra is a second tier. So,
it is, but I'm liking that the. What is?
He's extending it.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, that's not a very long one, but I don't know if it's extending it or if they're burning more and they're. It might be that their tokenomics are burning a lot to liquidity, and as they're getting more and more liquidity, they're locking
Okay.
those. Because the volume is great, like a 450 BNB volume compared to a liquidity of 219. That's very solid volume, good amount of trades. So it looks like probably another meme token because anything that has INU in the name is apparently a meme token,
Agents of I.N.U.
except for Agents of I.N.U and our Agent Shiba Inu token, who are most definitely not a meme token. But so this one's approaching 3,000 holders. Very low tax. Oh, so very low buy tax, really high sell tax.
Bullish.
Yeah, so I don't want you to sell. Which is okay. So there might actually be burning to liquidity, but wow. So I don't know if that's a mistake on our part, but it's saying the all-time high was very high. Let's just confirm on PooCoin and see if there was a massive dump. No, so there is an issue that we need to work out on that there. So it's a known bug that we'll be fixing. But let's have a look at the chart. Oh, sorry, that was the all-time low. Oh, that might actually be right. Sorry, so it's up 100%, 100,000% since launch. So let's see what it launched at. And you can see here that actually
24.
Yeah. So we've gone from 14 to
1,400x.
I don't know what the low was. So if we hover, so on PooCoin, if you go on that first candle, you can sort of see at the top there that it actually started off at what is that 0? Yeah, so it actually is legitimate. So it started off tiny, so very little liquidity.
Must have been a stealth launch.
Probably a staff launch. I'm liking this one. Like this one, again, it's one that you want to do a bit of research on, make sure. And we actually have a Telegram link here, which is always helpful. So that means they added it into the contract. 4,000 members on Telegram, which is good. And I expect to see a very active chat. So let's.
There's the voice chat open.
Voice chat. Well, it's not massive, but yeah, very active chat, which is always a good sign. So look, for a meme token, it looks like they're doing, they're doing what they should be doing. They're getting people engaged. There's
market lineup every single day. What you need for a market meme token.
And it's actually quite old now, right? It's a week old, and it's still sort of doing well. So they've done very well. Again, look, if you're looking at this every day, you'd probably be hoping to see it here. Where we've seen it after a week, right? But it depends when you start doing your analysis. So had you gotten on the 13th after about a day, you'd be up probably 4 or 5x already. Yeah. So what are we seeing? They've went for a meme content, and look, yeah, this is definitely one I'd be doing a bit more research on, but I'm pretty interested in this one. So of all the ones we've seen today, this might be the one that looks most promising.
It does look very bullish. So again, do your own research. Use your data. Use your app to help you find these markers that can help you identify the next gem or the next potential.
Yeah, exactly. And look, this I mean, it's not necessarily super easy, but especially in this market, but it's a type of research that you need to do. There's a lot of people out there that get really upset, they get scammed. I mean, if you're not doing the proper research, you're not doing yourself any favors really. So the more information you have at your disposal, the safer it's going to be. And what we've done today is really scratch the surface of the analysis that you should be doing. Like if you can read some contracts, it might be useful to just get a feel for what's good and what's bad. You don't need to be an expert, but at the very least, you can scan over it. And,
exactly.
I'd be looking at callers. So if there are big call groups, you can even try and see have they called this token. Usually, it'll be pinned in the Telegram if they have. But that's another good sign. You want to see that they are getting decent callers, especially if it's a short-term play. But yeah, just do your research. Use the tools that we've built, and we hope that gives you
some insight.
Yeah, some insight.
We're hoping to continue this as a weekly episode, hopefully.
Yeah.
And we'll touch on different parts of the app and looking at different tokens, like new tokens coming out, fresh off the Pancake Swap, and older tokens, which Abe really favors.
Yeah, I do.
Like monthly, like what, a few months old or something.
Probably even
sleeping giants.
Yeah, even 2 weeks old, 1 month old tokens. And usually, like another strategy, and I don't want to get into it today, but if you notice there is a meme, like there is an active
a trend happening.
A trend, yeah. So you can always filter by the trend, and I think there was a trend a while ago, but
wasn't it Elon Musk's dog or something? Or
always Musk, but I mean, you can always search for Musk if you love Elon Musk. No, there's no Musk tokens that meet our criteria, but if you...
I think it's trending right now.
No, not in that range anyway, but if we do this, you can always get Musk number 1 or Sponge Musk. But again, probably Musk wasn't the best example, but if you like your Dogecoins, there's a lot of Dogecoins out there for you to look into as well.
Also to note is that don't blindly trust the issues warning, because there are things that we do not pick up. And it's always going to be a game of cat and mouse. Us trying to catch up to the scammers, and the scammers trying to figure out new ways to bypass our check. So don't trust it blindly. Do your own research. Check the team, see if they're audited, and then invest. We are working really hard at it'll be one of the next phases to redo our contract scanner.
Yeah, exactly. Our contract scanner.
Yeah, and make it a really advanced one. Abe has some really awesome plans. But again, no matter how advanced it is, there's no way you're going to pick up every scam.
Yeah. So anyway, I think tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. Please feel free to use our app. It's in open beta right now, so everything we've done today you've got access to, and there'll be a lot more features coming even as soon as this week. We'll be rolling out our next update.
What's the next update, Abe?
No comment on that one because I'm still... Well, look, plainly speaking, on the back of our token page, there are 2 improvements that we're making. One is adding more tokens. So right now we've got most tokens in there, but some of the older ones we're missing. So I'm trying to push through an update that's going to go back historically and pick up all the tokens that we might have missed.
Nice.
Another one. So someone noticed a bug that's affecting less than 1% of tokens, I think. So it has the potential to affect probably 3%, but I think it's actually really rare. So about maybe less than 1% of tokens might have.
Poor token investor. Thanks for that.
Yep. So I've actually found out the cause of that issue, and I'm just currently working through that now. And if you search by 1 week, you'd see this Madagascar. That's been affected by the issue. I'm assuming the top 3 probably have the same issue, and that's what we're working on. But otherwise, we will be adding search, so you'll be able to search globally for a token and go straight to the token page. And there might be a couple more additions to the token page as well. I don't want to sort of commit to anything, but I mean, join our Telegram, subscribe to our YouTube, like, share, and you'll be the first to find out.
Exactly. We even have a cool Medium. Some cool articles to read on there. Abe's a bit of a writer, so do check that out as well.
I need to do some more writing. It's been a while, but
I think people like video better, so we'll probably keep this up.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining our first episode, and we'll be not you, them, but anyway. We'll be doing this more often. So if you like it, please do let us know, and we'll definitely keep it up.
No worries. Thanks, guys. See you later.
See yous.